Hello there and welcome to the latest episode of Gotham Talk. We're into episode 9 from season 2 and this one is called A Bitter Pill to Swallow. 3 things really going on in this episode. We've got Galavan's sister hires a hitman. Well, hitmen, hitwomen, a ton of hitmen to go after Gordon. Kind of in revenge for Barbara Keane, really, but under the guise that it's on behalf of her brother. She goes to some company kind of thing that, in all honesty, it reminded me of John Wick. The hotel in John Wick where they go and all the hitmen are there. It kind of reminded me of that. Now I think, because we're in season 2 here, I think that was probably around the time John Wick came out, maybe like just after John Wick came out. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that's where they got it from. So yeah, a ton of hitmen go after Gordon to varying degrees of skill, and that's pretty entertaining. There's a really great lift fight. One of these, the first hitman kind of takes on Gordon in a lift, and that's a really entertaining fight scene. But Gordon gets trapped in Galavan's apartment, because that's where he's going. He's on his way there. He gets trapped in Galavan's apartment with the guy, I can't remember his name, Michael Chiklis, his character, the new captain, his new boss. So they're kind of stuck in there with a rookie cop. And I like what goes on in there. We get this confession from the captain about how he shot this kid when he was in the war. We don't really get to know where he was, but he was in a desert environment and he shot this kid and he crossed the line. But he came to realise that actually there is no line. It's just human behaviour, and that any man, if pushed far enough, can go there. And it's only the law. Following the law is what separates us from the animals. You either stick to the law or you don't. And I liked that scene. I like that this is how he measures a man, and this is how he measures himself. It's how he's made peace with himself for what he's done. Is that from now on, actually, he surrenders himself to the law. And I like that conversation between him and Jim Gordon, because Jim Gordon, throughout this whole season, really has been constantly dipping into the dark recesses of his soul, and it's one of the things that troubles Lee Tompkins. And you see this constantly. This kind of she's trying to keep him in the light, and he all too often steers himself into the dark. And so I like that exploration, that side of Gordon's character. And the only thing I didn't quite like about this particular storyline, the stuff that's going on with Gordon in this, is the final hitman they send. He's supposed to be the best of the best of the best when it comes to hitmen. And we see, we don't get to see it, but we hear it, and we know that he's taken out 4 cops. This backup comes, and he takes them all out. It's like, ooh. And Gordon goes down to face him. And then this guy attacks Gordon with a chain. And you're like, really? Really? You've just taken out 4 cops and you're attacking Gordon with a chain? You're going to get into a fist fight with him? You're supposed to be like one of the best hitmen. And it's just like, ugh. It felt a little bit lazy, to be honest. I really loved everything that was going on. I loved that build-up, the tension to it, Gordon going down, and then this guy just kind of, he doesn't try and corner him, he doesn't try and, pick him off with a bullet first, wait for him outside the lift or whatever. No, he waits for him to get in really open ground and then attacks him with a chain. Okay. That to me was stupid. Pretty violent episode, must be said. He goes on to bite the rookie cop in the neck, and he just doesn't let go. He's got hold of her like a vice, and all these cops are beating him to get him off, and it's really violent, really, really violent. So yeah, that was that storyline. Then we got Bruce and Alfred. This kind of brought much levity to the episode, I think, a lot of humour. Because Alfred isn't letting Bruce go and see Silver St. Cloud. He wants to go and see Silver St. Cloud to try and ask her for information. And Alfred knows it's just, don't do it. It's dodgy. It's clearly twigged, Galavan was bent. And chances are she's in on it. So, yeah, he essentially holds Bruce prisoner in his own home, but the sparring between them, the verbal sparring, is quite amusing. Selena steps in towards the end to say that she's got proof against Silver St. Cloud. We don't get to know what that is. Obviously, that'll be next episode. But yeah, it's nice to see Selena step in at the end, because quite frankly, I like her a lot more than St. Cloud. So it's be nice for her to save Bruce in this situation. The other story, what have we got? Nygma. So we've got Nygma keeping Penguin at his home because he's finally accepted he's a killer. He's embraced it. He surrendered himself to it, and he wants Penguin to give him advice because of obviously Penguin has killed many people. He's quite notorious, quite famous. So he kind of ministers Penguin back to health, and there's one key sequence between them. Like most of the scenes between them is quite bizarre, really, because they're all on a bed. Most of them are on a bed. It's a little bit something a bit homoerotic going on there. I don't know. I'm probably reading that into it, but it's just bizarre seeing these two characters having all these kind of deep conversations on a bed. But there's one particular conversation, and it's when Nygma essentially tells Penguin that now that his mother is gone, he's got nothing to stop him being himself. There's nothing now holding him back. If there's nothing left in his life that he loves, he can truly be free because he's got nothing that people can bargain with him, threaten him with, hold him to ransom with. While I personally obviously don't share that because I'm a sane individual who values the prospect of love in one's life, coming from where these two guys are, you can see it. You can see that reasoning and you can understand that reasoning. Like I say, don't share it. I don't understand it in the sense that I share in that belief, but I understand it from their perspective. So I like that. I like that Nygma kind of, gives Penguin a new calling, I guess, a path for the future. But it's twisted, it's bitterly twisted, but it's quite amusing, and I do like seeing those two together. It'll be interesting to see where they go. Not much more else than that. There is a one minor thing, which is that we get these monks that come at the end. There is a tie thing going on, like when Galavan's place got all shot up. Gordon did see this about monks, and all these monks turn up with Ron Rifkin at the end, and they kill this security guard. Now, I don't really know where these characters are going, but I know that Azrael comes into this series at some point during this season. I'm wondering if these guys are in fact the Order of Saint Dumas. And if they are, I'll be quite chuffed with that, to be honest. I'm a huge fan of Azrael, at least the John Paul Valley Azrael, so from the comic books, for anyone who doesn't know. I'll be interested to see where that goes. They might not be, but that's my guess from here on out. Really good episode, really solid stuff, very entertaining. This would be a 5-star episode for me if it wasn't for that stupid hitman at the end who, a chain. Other than that's really all that brings it down. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. A very entertaining episode indeed, and very action-packed. What about you? Have you seen this episode? And if so, what did you think about it? Comment below, let me know, and until next time, cracking.